welcome to Plus One to Gaming. I'm Chris.
And I'm Eric.
And joining us as always are Billy and Mark. Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, and also extremely excited to get back into the next session of Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions, circa 1890s. So Eric, would you mind giving us a little recap before letting us board your magic imagination bus into a world of whimsy and adventure?
I sure will. So last we met, we had a confrontation with Mashika and a thug in an alleyway. You bested him and his
little dog too.
Yeah, and his little dog too. So you murdered another dog, beat his thug up a little bit, and Harry Houdini manacled Mashika, and the thug ran away. I believe that is all we accomplished in the last session. Is that correct? Did we do anything else?
Yeah, I think we took him to a place to be secured, but also I think we didn't actually interrogate him to ask him, like, why are you shooting at us and all of this nonsense? So I don't think we did anything.
Yeah, we didn't really talk to him much, except Samuel Clemens talked some mad smack. I think that was about it.
Yeah, as per usual.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, I mean, I think the first time he robbed us was the point, and then we killed his dogs, and then he was mad at us. So I don't know if there's a rationale deeper than that. We can always ask him, but I mean, I think the first time we met him, he was going to rob us, killed his dogs. So
yeah, he was wanted for something by Valor. But cool. So I guess get into that character voice. Harry, Samuel, where would you like to go from here?
Oh, well, I do believe I still have questions of the book nature. I'm glad that we accomplished this side task, as I like to call it, maybe even a side quest. But this book needs to be our main priority, and if our good friend Harry could continue to lead us to the location of the overnight warehouse, maybe we could find out what is the source of these books, and also get the real copies of the books for the Catholic Church.
Sure thing. I remember the way. Follow me, fellas.
Should we take a short rest before we depart?
But of course, I could always fill the air with some of my favorite prose, giving you a slight boost to your morale, and maybe your joints will feel a little bit better afterwards as well.
Yes, soothing words always help my constitution.
So 1d6 extra for your short rest, for poem rest. I call it poem rest because he's a poet.
Most excellent. Yeah, I need to replenish my HP because I was...
That's a good call. I just looked at my sheet. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, you guys got kind of trounced for a while in that last altercation.
It's these damn backflipping dogs.
It didn't get hit. Yeah, I was hiding behind things and just calling people names, which is effective, but did not get hurt, luckily.
At least one of us
since high school.
All right, I'll rest it up.
Yep, I got my rest.
All right, so remind me, because when you were going to this, what you're calling the where you saw them drop the books off at the other night, it was the early morning, correct? Like you had just woken up from the hotel the night before when you made your plan, and you were going there, and it's like daytime.
Yeah, I think we were trying to go there while they were at work.
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken, that was Samuel's plan.
Yes. So we were trying to go while they're at work to see what we can find. And
yeah,
if we can't find anything, we'll go and, we play our little trick on them and maybe even confront them.
Yeah.
But that's our last option. I don't want to confront them unless we have to.
Yeah, so we were going back to Black Gate where Houdini followed them previously.
Okay, so it's the middle of the day. You have no problems retracing your steps or even finding another route.
Well, that's what we thought last time, but we got shot at.
Yes, you have no further problems. you at least wouldn't have any problems like getting lost or anything, because you've been in the city for a couple days now, and you can kind of figure it out. So you can arrive there, not 20 minutes later. Basically, it's just on the other side of town. So you arrive at the structure that you saw them loading the books into. What do you want to do?
Well, gentlemen, I do believe we there should be some clues to this mystery. Hopefully enough to set us on the next path. If not, we can always go back and confront. But I don't really want to get Corvala. I don't want her to know that we're onto her just yet, because I don't know what she would do.
Yes, arming ourselves with some knowledge, I think, is a sound plan.
If you guys can keep a lookout, I could check the door, pick the lock.
Yes, I'll set up over here.
Give me a shriek whippoorwill if anyone's coming. I'm going to kind of casually, not to draw suspicion, walk up to the door to test and see if it's open.
The door is unlocked.
Okay, I will casually continue striding inside so as not to draw attention that I am breaking and entering. And I'll kind of leave the door ajar for the other guys.
Okay, so the first room that you enter, this is the room you looked in the window, so you have a familiarity with it. So it is 15 by 25 feet, long way. So it's 15 tall, 25 feet long. There are 7 mismatched chairs scattered around this homely common room. A couple of mugs and plates sit on a small circular table in the center of the space. A tattered, faded rug decorates the wooden floor.
There's no other doors or exits?
Good question. Directly across the room from the entry door is another door. And on the eastern wall, there is a door. So to get your kind of orientation, the door that you came in would be on like the southern wall of this building.
Can I hear anything? Like, is there any sounds of footsteps, or is it apparent that no one's home?
Roll me a perception check.
I rolled 15.
Perfect. So you hear on the other side of the door that would be on the eastern side, you hear what sounds like kind of like pots and pans kind of banging around a little bit, like cookware going on, and a couple of voices.
Okay. I'm going to step back outside the door to regroup with the fine gentlemen. So I'll step out and kind of like give them a come hither motion.
Yes, Harry, what did you find?
I'm not sure if we chose the perfect time. Sounds like perhaps maids might be home, or something along those lines. Although, wait, this is a poor part of town, so who knows? Maybe one of them didn't go to work today. You might need to find a way to sneak past or see the other rooms, because in the first room, there's nothing much.
Yes, well, if it's sneaking, I think you are more apt to suit this task, but perhaps there are other ways to enter.
I don't think so. Last time I was here, there were some windows, but it seemed pretty easy to go through the front door. Shall I just search and report back?
Well, I'd be loath to send you in there alone, but wearing this I cannot sneak as well as you. I would have to take it off. And he points to the automail.
And I am an old man, and my sneaking ability has never been so good when my joints worked as intended. But I do believe if they are actively involved in some activity in the other room with pots and pans banging, maybe it wouldn't be that hard to silently enter without them noticing. I'd like to get an idea more of who is in that other room. So, if you maybe you could circle around and see if you could see another window. Like, I'm still outside, and I look to the right of the entrance to where like the other room he described is. Do I see another like window that he could peek in?
I believe
Yes.
there's one on the eastern side.
Yes, so there are windows. There would be a window on the southern side of this room and a window on the eastern side of this room.
Okay. Can I go and peek in that? I think that was the same window I looked in last time.
I don't believe it is. You peeked in the window on the western side. Yeah, so this would be the opposite wall.
All right, I'll take a peek. Can I see the people?
You can roll me a little stealth check real quick.
Oh, I'll give him guidance.
Good plan. I was thinking of using a little inspiration on him as well, but I don't know if that works in this situation. I have to check up on my skills.
Harry, let me give you a bit of advice. While you're sneaking, try to be very, very quiet.
Ah, thank you. Quite the trick. I rolled 20.
All right, so you can, with just the tiniest little peek in there, can see all you want to see, basically, without having to worry about them seeing you. So this room, as you're looking in, is a kitchen. The kitchen is small but clean and organized. A shelf holds rows of pots and pans. On the side of the fireplace is a cutting board and knife rests on a counter. Clean plates and utensils sit on a matching counter on the other side. And you see two people in there preparing a meal. And this room is 2 foot east to west, 2 squares. So it is 10 foot east to west and 15 foot north to south. And you don't see you see the door that you are aware of on its western wall. You don't see another door anywhere.
And neither of those people I recognize?
No, you do not recognize them.
Okay.
They are not people you have seen before. I will describe them a little bit as soon as I figure out who they are. So one of them is kind of an older gentleman who wears spectacles. And the other is a petite lady who is wide-eyed and has long braids.
And you said they're cooking?
Yeah, they're making a meal. Potentially lunch or a brunch, depending on what time of day it is. I don't know how long it took y'all to get there. Say it's around lunchtime. You got kind of tied up early.
Okay. I'll report back to the gentlemen.
Well, we could probably slip past them unnoticed.
They don't seem to be much of a threat.
I think that they are just kitchen staff, or I don't think that it's much of a problem. I can't imagine that the kitchen is where they would store any of these valuable things. So I think if you would go to that door to the north, we have that northern door. I think that's a good idea to go over there and see what it is. I think while they're making this meal, I think that you shall have fortune shall favor you on your sneakiness, and maybe even us. But I would like you to be, I think, one room ahead. So if we wait by the entrance, well,
good thinking.
It was well within actionable, at least for the athletic ones of us. And he coughs and points towards Tesla. Some of us can't move that quick.
All right, sounds like we've got a plan.
Yes, just know we'll be right behind you.
I'll head out and, I'll just scream if anything goes wrong. How about that? So, Harry's gonna...
I'll just scream,
back
maybe laugh.
He's gonna head back in and try to sneak past the table and all that to the northern door in the main living space.
Okay. So you know that the front door is open. You don't need to do anything in there. Roll me a stealth check for the room itself.
You can add a D4 to that with guidance.
I'm gonna need to. I'm gonna use my inspiration point already.
Yep.
Because I rolled a 2, so
that's not good.
13.
Okay. You're pretty confident that no one can hear you. And so you're in the room, and again, confident that no one has heard you come through. What are you trying to do?
I'm gonna go like along the western wall around the table and chairs towards the northern door.
And what do you want to do with the northern door?
I want to test the lock and see if it is open.
It is open.
Okay, so I'll like crack that door open enough to just kind of like peek my head in and take a look around.
Okay, so this room is more like a wide corridor than an actual room. This is a long and crowded spaces occupied by 6 narrow cots. Roll me a perception check if you want to look around.
18.
All right, so you see in 2 of these cots people taking naps.
Okay. I will just kind of leave the door alone. I guess I'll turn to the other guys and like make a head on pillow hands gesture, and then try to like mime 2 people sleeping.
Harris, now's not the time for a nap.
No, there's people in there. Sleeping. 2 of them.
I will use my pantomime skills, aka my message cantrip, to ask him how big the room is and if there's any other exits that he could just, if he got a first glance, I would assume.
Yeah, I think that comes for free. So the room is 10 north to south and 35 east to west. So the room is the entire length of the building from what you can surmise. And it is 10 feet north to south. So it is described as more kind of a long hallway, like a corridor, more than like a room. But it looks like they are using it as like a dormitory of sorts.
So can I sneak over? There was a door on the eastern wall, correct? Can I?
Hang on, let me re-describe this.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. So the door that you entered in is, if we're thinking of this in squares, it's in the second square from the west.
Mm-hmm.
So about, halfway through, like maybe 8 feet in. The door that you entered into this dormitory or peeked in mirrors that. So it's the exact same distance from like the western wall. About on the other side and about 5 feet to the east, there is a door leading to a room. And if you look all the way down to the eastern side of this long corridor, there is another door leading into a room to the north. So there are 2 doors to the north.
In the corridor, there's 2 doors to the north.
Yes.
Okay.
So from what you can see, 1 door in the south, 2 doors in the north, no doors east or west.
Okay. And then in the room, which I am in, but not, not the corridor, the one I'm standing in, there's a door on the western wall that I didn't check yet.
No, the western,
no?
The
that
eastern,
goes all
the western wall is out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the window you looked in when you like very first came.
Oh, I drew it wrong. That's why. It's a window. Okay. I guess I will just continue sneaking and go towards, I guess, the closest northern door in the corridor.
Okay. And you already rolled me a stealth check for this room, correct? Is that the one you got like an 18 on?
That was perception, I think, right?
That was perception.
Because I was peeking in, I think.
Perfect. Okay, so roll me a stealth check if you want to move through this room of sleeping people.
14.
I think that's pretty good because they're asleep. So you're confident that you're not stepping on any loose floorboards or anything, and that these 2 are not going to wake from their naps.
Okay, so I'll check again just to see if the door is unlocked first.
The door is unlocked.
All right, rinse and repeat. I'll peek in to this room.
Yep. So what you get for free, except for the corner with 2 stacked wooden trunks, the walls of this room are lined with half-empty bookshelves. This room is 10 feet north to south and 20 feet east to west. You see no doors from here. This looks to you like a storage room.
Okay. I'll just leave that door ajar. I don't want to like close any latches or anything, and check to see if the other northern door is unlocked.
They've got these rooms out of order from what I would expect them to be in, so I'm trying to like turn a page back and forth, and I'm getting confused. So this door is unlocked.
Okay. Am I able to see anything through a crack in the door?
Through a small crack. Roll me a stealth check.
Ooh, nat 20.
Okay. So through the crack, you're able to see a large wooden desk takes up most of this room. Atop the desk, a quill and a bottle of ink sit next to a leather-bound journal. A pair of decorative swords hang on the wall behind the desk. There is a single bed tucked against the western wall. So you get that for free. The room is 10 foot north to south and 15 foot east to west. So if you are drawing this map, you should have a square by now.
Well, if you were good at drawing maps, you might. let me fill that in. So, okay, so I'll push the door open more so that I can.
Okay, yeah, push the door open and roll me a perception check because I want to see if you can see anything else.
18.
18.
Yeah.
All right. So at the desk, with the chair turned kind of against the door, you see Corvala sitting there, and she doesn't seem to see you.
Ooh. Okay. Can I ask what my fellow companions are doing?
I mean, how would you know that?
Ugh, damn it. Okay, I'm gonna creep back to the southern like hallway dorm whatever door.
Okay.
To see to like reconvene with the guys. So I'll go back to that room, and then I guess I'll just tell them Corvala's here in the back.
Oh, I thought she would be at the bookstore.
Yeah, I figured as much too. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot here except in that room. Maybe a storage closet, some places to sleep, and then kind of a fancy bedroom office.
What else have you seen? Do they have any weapons, or do they look like they could be a threat?
Hard to tell. I mean, we have broken in, so probably. But I did see some swords, so yeah, we might be in for a fight. I don't know. But now it looks like no one knows we're here yet, so we have the element of surprise
Well,
if we need it.
Yes. Well, perhaps we should just confront Corvala and try and resolve this mystery as soon as possible. What are your thoughts, Samuel?
I do have an idea. My brain has been a-spinning to try to figure out what the best way is to confront her, to catch her off guard. And I do believe she does not expect us to know where she is here. But I think we stick the story that Mark Twain has been injured seriously, and you have been escorted here, you two, by our good friend Zahn, played by me, of course, expertly, and you are taking no guff, and you want to find out the answer to what has happened. Why is he injured and the book has disappeared? You think that there's some sort of grift going on? I don't think that there's some sort of spiritual. We don't want to put on that we think that there's something supernatural going on. But it is odd that she gave us this book for free, and then if I were to be injured and the book disappeared, it seems, and a famous person such as myself, it seems like it would be well within our reason for us to assume some ploy was cast by them. So if you wanted to bust in, escorted by Zahn, it may catch her off guard. So he will cast right now, disguise self to look like Zahn. But he's just scrounging around to try to find things that would make him look like Zahn.
Look no further. I have a disguise kit in my bag here.
So perfect. So he's doing the disguise kit plus clothes. You don't need, it's not a supernatural ability, more of like a mimicry ability thematically. So I think that if we busted in, and it seems like Zahn is curtailed and kind of down, like they demanded to see Corvala, and he escorted them here, against his will, that he didn't really have a choice in the matter. He would, she would not be as surprised if they found her here, and if they were all mad and demanded to know what was going on and why Mark Twain has, been seriously critically injured, and the book has disappeared.
A good plan. You should write stories for a living.
I see this man is almost as funny, maybe even funnier than myself. But yes, I do believe we could get the drop on her, and even if these men wake up, they would not think it's so odd to see Zahn walk through that office, I would assume. But I leave the rest of the acting to you brothers.
Yes, let us see how this plays out.
I do believe. Let me get into character. So he's going to remember the accent of Zahn, and he's going to use, he's not going to say anything. He's going to stay kind of in the back, like he escorted them. He's going to be looking down, kind of defeated, but he's trying to use his performance skill to make it look like he is him.
All right. Well, Harry will grab Samuel Zahn by the shoulder of his shirt,
mm-hmm.
and kind of drag him along.
Brilliant.
So he's going to grab him and then kind of lead him, stiff armed in front of him through the house towards the that back bedroom where she was.
Okay, so where are you all now? Are you in the front room? Okay, so you're in the front room and you are no longer trying to be quiet, correct?
Yeah, now he's planning on kind of pushing his way through the door as if they're storming in through that door into where the guys were sleeping.
Okay. So obviously the people that are in the kitchen open the door and they see you. So you see two heads pop out, one above the other. One male, one female. And the male is an older gentleman, like I said, who has spectacles. And so this is before you got to the dormitory room.
Okay.
So he asks, "What are you doing here?"
Houdini is going to kind of shove Zahn, let him go, and say, "Well, here we are. Take us to her. This is over now."
Twain is going to turn towards those men, hold his hand out and shake his head, don't interfere type of thing. Just kind of defeated, just holding his head up, just don't get involved type of thing.
Zahn, come here, come closer. Who are these people?
No time for this. We need answers now. I'm gonna. Houdini kind of shoves him, not hard, but just kind of towards the door a little bit.
So you shove Zahn or fake Zahn away from you a little bit?
Yeah, just kind of he's gonna step between if Zahn wanted to go over there. He was gonna keep him back.
Okay. So you see the man who's looking out at you. He kind of steps more into the doorway, and he grabs a sconce on the wall and pulls it. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Everybody?
13.
Just Houdini and Tesla.
10.
Okay, neither of you made it. So, the rug you are standing on that you just pushed Mark Twain Zahn off of collapses up around you and pulls you to the ceiling, a la like a net trap.
Classic net trap.
And hang on one second. I don't know how I want to resolve this because it's something much more fantastic in the real book. So let's roll initiative really quick. I want to see what we can do with this. This might get weird.
We can only hope.
This is one of the growing pains that I didn't actually realize this thing might happen in changing it from like fantasy to like real world. There's some weird shit in fantasy.
Well, we'll see what happens. 3 for Tesla.
10 for Zahn/Twain.
7 for Harry.
So the trap goes first.
Seems realistic.
What is the trap going to do? So the both of you that are in it feel grappled, we'll say, is the best word I could think of. So you can't move, and you're having a very hard time breathing. It's just wrapped all around you, and it's not a net, it is a rug, so it's not like easy to breathe through. So at the start of your turn, that's the trap, I guess, is that you guys are grappled. So if you want to get out of it, you'll have to make like a strength thing.
But is it technically a creature or a trap?
So here's the thing. We can pull the veil back for a second. In the book, it is a creature.
Okay. I'm just asking because I have,
Cube.
abilities to disarm traps. So I don't want to use that if that would circumvent the book or whatever.
I would be happy with that because in our world, it is not a rug of smothering.
Okay.
It is a rug that is smothering you by circumstance because it is a trap. So if I'm okay with that. That's why I'm trying to what can this thing do out of its moves that
just get tighter and tighter.
Yeah, that makes sense. So so yes, you guys are grappled and you're finding it hard to breathe. Let me put you in order. Okay, perfect. So the next up is Twain.
So Twain is going to stumble forward a little bit, grab his neck because he was just being held by the throat, which gives him an excuse to not speak right. And he's going to act like he's been hoarse and he can't really speak very well, but he's going to do a performance, and he's going to turn towards him and with a little bit of a hoarse voice.
Are you crazy? Do you know who these people are? I don't think this is a good idea. They've already informed the police.
He's going to say it like that, like he's just been, he's been choked and he can't really talk well.
All right, give me a performance roll. And I would say maybe with advantage because you're already, the advantage would be that you've used your spell to disguise yourself to look like them.
So it's 17 on his performance.
Cool. So, damn, I wanted to smother these motherfuckers. So the old man in the kitchen, the guy that pulled the lever, let me remember his voice, says, "Son, are these men with you?"
Yes, something has happened to their associate, and they were worried, and now they are probably more confused. I don't know if this was a good thing. We may need to ask for their forgiveness.
So he pulls the lever back the other way, the sconce, and the rug falls back down on the ground and frees you two. And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought this was a break-in. I thought we were being robbed."
No, the only thing we were robbed of is our friend. He was slain last night, you see, after receiving a book from a woman named Corvala. And now that he is slain and under mysterious circumstances, and the book that he was given has vanished. And we've come to get answers, and we demand them at once. So if Corvala is here, we demand to see her.
And as you say that, the door that was leading to the dormitory opens, and Corvala stands in the doorway. And she says, "Come with me. Come to my office." And she turns around and walks back northeast toward what Harry Houdini knows would be her office.
Tesla follows.
So does Zahn, still grasping his throat and coughing a little bit.
Houdini's going to take a moment to see if he can figure out how that trap worked, and then he'll follow.
As you walk through the dormitory area, the two that were sleeping are awake now, and you see that they do have swords. So they were ready to run into that room. But they don't bother you because you have Zahn and Corvala leading you through the room. So as you get into Corvala's room, it's a little tight for 4 people, but you can all fit in there fairly easily. She goes to the other side of her desk and sits down and says, "So what is all of this about? You break into my house?"
We think you know what it's about. Our friend was hurt badly, and we think it has something to do with that book that you mysteriously gave us.
The book. It's a little early for it to awaken, but I guess it could have been. Yes.
What do you mean, awaken?
These things I make, they are called gingwatsum. You know of them?
Isn't that like a small lizard?
They can be small lizards, yes. They are a magical spell taught to me by my mentor. They can take two forms. One of an animal, so could be small lizard, and one of an everyday object that is near it during creation. The beast must feed, though. So it drains life energy from people, but usually it takes a very long time before it is hungry enough to transform into its natural state of the orb.
So why make these things? Why send these out into the world? What is your aim? What is your goal here?
Because they are cheaper to make than books. My profit margins go up every time.
Yes, but people are getting hurt. Do you value your profits over people's lives?
Oh, of course. Of course I do. It is not my problem if they are hurt. They are gone and far away usually by the time they are.
What kind of profits do you get from giving them to us for free?
But I traded you for the signed book, which I could sell for much more.
An insight check while, kind of off to the side, still cowering a little bit because I'm ashamed, pretending to be ashamed. But when she said that it's mostly for profit, I want to do an insight check to see if that's, true.
Roll me that insight check.
Ooh, 19 plus 4, 23.
You do not think that she is lying. You think that every word she's saying is true and that she doesn't think that it's wrong.
Yes, well, now you have drawn the ire of one Nikola Tesla, Harry Houdini, and, of course, the Vatican itself. Several of these books that you have sent have gone into the library and have caused grievous harm, and now we've traced it to its source.
But my pack and I could be gone here and tomorrow morning. Pop up another city. Would you chase an ant around the world?
If it's to protect others from harm, I'll do everything in my power to stop it.
I'm not sure we need to chase them, Tesla. They're here now.
Yes. Plus, my entire pack is here now. Everyone you crossed on your way here is fully armed and more dangerous than they seem. You, my friends, are the ones that are in danger, not me. So we can have a civil conversation without threats. Or I could hide you in my basement in pieces.
Well, I'd be interested to see what the civil conversation of someone who cares so little about the lives of innocent people. I'm not sure if you can be civil.
I can be civil. I believe that civilization is based on people like myself. I care not for the lives of people here and there, whether they get hurt or whether they die. I care about my family, and I care about making enough money to make them whole again.
What do you mean, make them whole?
We lost someone dear to us not too long ago. Our leader, in fact, before me. My mentor. She died, and we tried to raise the funds to bring her back.
That's impossible.
You think it's impossible, but before this week, did you know that books could be orbs and magical demon monsters? There is much more that is possible out there that you may not know.
Yes, our recent events have certainly raised my perception of these things, but nonetheless, if you keep hurting people this way, eventually it's going to come back to you. Is there not some more sustainable way for you to protect and care for your family?
There is potentially. We measure the risk. We are mobile. We are fearsome fighters.
If we go missing, the Vatican will surely look for us. They know where we are. It is not our wish to conduct any violence, but it is our wish to resolve this civilly. But if these things that you are making are being set loose upon the world and in places of holy places such as the Vatican, who have tremendous amounts of resources to solve their problems, perhaps there is a way for us to resolve this and without bloodshed.
I believe there might be a way. This method is just the most recent scheme in our money-making endeavors. We've sold books. We liked selling books. They make a good profit. They're easy to get. We like to read. My mentor loved books. She collected them, so we know a lot about them. We never intended for this spell to mimic books and hurt people, specifically powerful people like that in the Vatican. It must just be coincidence that they all ended up there. But it is hard to make a living anywhere in this world. We have lived in several cities and would be willing to run back if your friends came after. Constantinople, Alexandria, Jordan, anywhere. We can disappear into the winds.
Why is it that you need to disappear so?
Sometimes making money at the risk of others draws the ire of the locals, of the guard, of people such as yourself, and it is more profitable to just run and start anew. My pack has not done this forever. When our leader was with us, we lived a happy life. We had her protection, and we sold books just for the livelihood of it. But selling books alone does not make enough to bring her back.
Yes, well, if there is a way we can assist to bring her back, would that assure us that you will cease these nefarious operations at once? Is that a bargain we could strike?
If that is a bargain you could come through on, that is a bargain I would strike in a heartbeat.
Well, you said that there was a way to bring this person back, yes.
So we were very close to the amount of money we needed to buy the reagents. Selling just a few more books, the expensive books, would get us there. Now, I believe we sold you a Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions. Is that true? Is that the book that you had?
I can't remember.
It's the name of the fucking thing we're playing.
Yes, but I can't say anything because I'm. I'll cast
just nodding in the side.
Yes. Well, I'm going to do cast message to both of them.
I thought it was like the Dark Hunger, because she didn't sell us anything. She gave Twain like the Dark Hunger, or I think about Teenage Vampires. Now that I think about it,
I might be confused. Mazfroth was the one that brought you here, though.
Yeah.
Do they? Let me pull the curtain again. Do they know that? Did you tell? No, they don't know that. Okay, let's recap. The Dark Hunger was the book that I gave you, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So that book, along with a few others, these are the most expensive books we have been able to acquire. These are the ones that it is most profitable to make into Gingwat. You don't make just regular book into Gingwat. You don't have a profit margin on a Huck Fig book. I sell 3 more of these more expensive books, $250 each. Hang on, I gotta do some math. I don't know how much that costs in 1930s money.
We're still using gold. I don't know how much money I have in not D&D style gold.
Yeah, I can't convert.
No.
That was the conversion of 5e gold to dollars.
Yeah. So I did it at one point. The problem is that 5e gold is very inconsistent. So some things you're like, okay, that tracks, and then like honey is like crazy. Like some things are just like crazy expensive. Yeah. So it says. So we'll just say gold pieces. We won't. Whatever. Just use your imagination. So how much?
2067. So I have about $100 worth on me in 1895 money.
Okay, that kind of tracks. That makes sense. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So how much?
Gold pieces is $100. Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't matter because these books are 250 gold pieces each. So like, you're not going to be able to add up.
Yeah, even with all of ours, we'll have 300. We have enough for one of the books.
If we stay in 5e, it's designed that you're not supposed to have enough to just buy them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so
how much were you able to sell that signed book by our dear friend Mark Twain for?
I imagine we will get a pretty penny for it. We have not sold it yet, but probably double its price. What a Huck Fig novel is relatively cheap. Huck Fig Crocodile Tale.
Why not forge the books by hand rather than making these dangerous?
Because time is money, my friend. And this dangerous spell does not take me alone very long to do, whereas forging books, I would need an army. And I would have to pay them. It does not look to me, by the weight of your trousers, that you have enough money to buy the books I need, or to give me the money that I need to resurrect my leader. So, your proposal is getting weaker and weaker. Are there any other solutions you can think of?
I feel like Tesla at his prime probably had quite a bit of money that he could use to buy her off.
So that's an interesting thing, because I would have said the same thing about Mark Twain, but
Mark Twain
Billy
was,
did
yeah,
his research, and man, he's broke at this time.
broke at the end, yeah. Which is unfortunate.
I would rather, and to be honest, I mean, I know what Tesla is only 37 at this point, but he dies broke also.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Houdini's probably got the best money. He's going to end up being a millionaire, but he's young here, so
He's 19.
yeah.
So none. I don't want to. I don't want to use like. But I'm rich back home.
I've got an idea.
Let's go.
As you can see here, I'm wearing a prototype with quite a bit of expensive components to keep things simple. I will give this to you. It should more than cover the cost of those books in exchange. This is the best deal that I can offer you.
None of those things do not make any sense to me. They look like steam ports on a ship.
Yes, but you understand money, do you not?
I understand money, but I do not. It is very hard to sell what you do not know.
Show her the recording you made earlier.
Ah, yes, Harry. You mean this one? And the Ging Watsum that Tesla recorded earlier plays.
Holy son of Anubis, what is this?
If you want to see real magic, this here's your man. A complete graphical image of the past right before your eyes. Imagine how much that's worth. Museums, shows, you could start your whole touring act. A man like me would kill for an opportunity like that.
What is the image of? I forget.
The Ging Watsum?
While it's in its like form, and it's the sphere, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. So she's a little like taken, like scared, because she knows what a Ging Watsum looks like.
Yes, perhaps there are things that both of us might not fully understand, but for the sake of creating a better future, perhaps there are some that we can learn from one another. So he's genuinely trying to like reach out to her.
Yeah. And roll me a persuasion.
So that is 17.
This is a very interesting thing you offer me, Mr. Tesla. I do agree with your friend that I could probably make a pretty penny showing this in like a showcase performance similar to like a puppet show. Charters tickets, that kind of thing.
However you use it is up to you.
It's hard for me to, books and physical items, it's very easy to figure out the profit margin. I'm intrigued, but I might need a little more. Did you say that your friend, Mr. Twain, was killed, or was he injured?
He was hurt quite badly. We don't know if he'll entirely survive.
I am sorry that it happened to him, of a man of his caliber, so soon, so close to my home. In this state, I will be more generous than my profit margin would normally allow. I will take this thing from you. You will, of course, have to show me how to work it. And I think that this could provide for my pack in a new and exciting way. Is there a way... So how did you capture this image? Is this the Ging Watsum's soul? Is this how you defeated it?
No, we nearly lost our lives ourselves. No, it is what is called a camera, and it can record images using light onto a film that can be recorded and viewed later. But yes, I will show you how it works.
I think we can come to an agreement. I will use this camera to make profit for my pack instead of making Ging Watsum. To be honest, I never wanted to use the Ging Watsum this way. They're mostly used for protection for my pack. That is what my dear beloved leader would have wanted. But she is no longer here, so we did what we could to try to get her back to us. So it is a weight off my chest also to not use this sacred spell in a profit-making scheme, as you would have put it. So yes, I accept this. I will take this camera to no longer make Ging Watsum.
Yes, that is acceptable. And he hands it over.
Thank you, Mr. Tesla. I believe that you have made a powerful friend today, or maybe a soon-to-be powerful friend.
Well, if our paths cross once more, I hope it is in the light and not entrenched in darkness.
I want to maybe remind somebody that y'all got a telegram from the Vatican this morning also. Do you remember what it said?
Well, my
No.
assumption was that we bought the books from her. Like, by giving her that, she got money, the money she needed, but we got the books. Was that not the exchange?
So I was under the assumption that exchange was to make her stop doing Ging Watsum.
Oh, sorry. I understood that, I've got these books. If you buy these books, it'll be enough for me to stop doing Ging
Yeah.
Watsum. That was my interpretation of it, but I could have also just misunderstood the context.
I have changed the deal slightly. I will start doing Ging Watsum for this camera. But if you want these books, I will need maybe something else. Is there anything else you could trade, or any services you could render?
If you plan to make that your main attraction, then some sort of opening act might be appropriate. And if you like books, I can offer the magical book that I brought. Harry will pull out his he has a blank book that's impossible to write in, and put it on her desk and tell her that if you need to do all sorts of scams or even just impress people, here's another option. This book holds no ink, chalk, or marking of any sort.
Ah, very interesting. This is the book you tried to trick us with in the bookshop, correct?
The same one. So you've seen it at work and what it can do.
It is very interesting. I have been thinking about it a lot since then.
I figured someone so into books as you would be interested in this. It's almost an anti-book.
An anti-book. I will give you 2 of the books for this.
No, I think I have one last thing to sweeten the pot. And Tesla hands her his goggles of night. Wear these and you'll be able to see flawlessly in the dark.
Oh, these are marvelous.
Perfect for late night getaways.
Yes, it's an invention of my own design. And with that, I think you have bled us completely dry.
Yes, I do think that this has been a very amicable and civil discussion. I will stop selling Ging Watsum. I will give you these 3 books. And anytime you need help, if you are in my part of the world, you can ask for me and my pack. And we will help you. For you have helped us achieve our goal of resurrecting our leader. And we will never forget you.
Well, go forth and prosper. There is one lingering question that I have on my mind.
Yes, what is it?
You refer to your family as a pack, and this is strange to me.
The word might not translate very well into English. We are, how do you say, a cult? Our leader was a very powerful jinn. She was defeated and destroyed, and we wish to bring her back. Most jinn you may know of as greedy and evil, but she not so much. She loved books, and she loved us, and she would do anything to protect us. So we will do anything for her in exchange. The word might not even exist in English, so pack is what we prefer.
Yes, well, I understand the meaning of loyalty. As long as no more people are harmed in this world, then I'm all right with this resolution. Harry, what do you say?
Seems to be a fair trade, and can't wait to come and see the show someday.
Ah, yes, take good care of these effects that we've given to you.
I certainly will. And again, I appreciate your honesty and your negotiation.
Yes, well, speaking of
Well,
honesty...
I feel pretty bad that we took you away from the stalls on. Should we escort him back on our way out of town?
I'm going to message these guys because I was like, she's going to find out that I'm not San eventually when she asks San what happened.
That's what I was
Yeah,
going
we
to
could just walk you back.
Yeah, and so like I think if we want to be honest, I think maybe it's like this is all a message. Like I think we should come clean.
Yeah, that's why Tesla was about to about to come clean with
So
that.
with the dramatic flair, Mark Twain reveals himself, and he's like, "I do apologize for this slight ruse, but I do appreciate that we have come to a good conclusion. Luckily, I was not injured, and I do very much care that my health and my well-being is such a great concern to you, and we wish you and your Jin the best of health. And so this is all a persuasion type thing to like keep her from being mad that she was tricked.
What a wonderful negotiation tactic. You pretend to be hurt to get how do you say, leverage on me. That is brilliant. I appreciate the mastery behind it. This does beg a question though. This begs the question: if you are not hurt by the Ging Watson, where is it?
I think, Samuel, you still have it, do you not?
I do. I have the book. We have, as you can see we've been attacked by these creatures before, so we were able to deduce that this was such a creature. I did not open it or use it just out of fear of awakening the creature inside. But I do not.
You do not have to fear it. It will not come out if you open the book.
The last time we encountered one, we nearly lost our lives.
Yes.
It's only challenge rating 2. I don't think it's that big a deal.
We're level 2, woman. Are you mad?
Yeah, and also we are only a party of 3, and one of them is an old man who is very poor at combat. So when I say I exaggerated my injuries, I should say I exaggerated this injury. I have multiple injuries that I am not exaggerating on. And he holds his knee and he walks with his, he taps his cane to his knee.
Well, how about this? Because Mr. Mark Twain is such a lover of books, and I appreciate your negotiation tactics, and I feel like we are becoming fast friends, I will give you the secret on how to care for your Ging Watson, and they are loyal pets if you do not starve them. Which most of the books we sell, the people do not know how to feed them properly. They don't even know that they're Ging Watson. So it comes to the end of its rope, as you will, and must transform into its native form and feed. If you care for them, they can be interesting little helpers. And as she says that, she kind of gestures to the swords on the wall. They protect you. They can do simple tasks. They can be in the form of a book. This one cannot be anything other than a book. But they also can be in the form of a little rat, a bat, a snake, some little animal. You can train them to protect you as well. You can keep that one as a show of good faith, as long as you promise to take care of it.
Yes, you'll have to let us know what those instructions are. The feeding and care of your Ging Watson.
So she gets like a scroll or whatever and writes down a few things, rolls it up and hands it to you. Follow these simple instructions and it will never attack you. It will never attack anyone if it is well fed and happy, but it will protect you.
Yes, it is a marvelous creature and I do wish to study it more. Maybe we can do our due diligence to see if there are other Ging Watson in the world. Perhaps we can assimilate them and take care of them.
Or that's what I'm hoping for. Maybe you have a record of the books that you have these Ging Watson, so we can make sure that they don't draw more ire, because I mean we are marvelous and exceptional people, to be humble, but I do not want anything to be, any more trails to lead back to this, very your clan.
I appreciate you looking out for us, Mr. Twain. I do have a ledger. The books that sent you here on your journey, they were sold, what, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago?
That, yes.
That is about the time it takes for a Gingwatsum to need to feed. I have not sold any of them since, but I have sold a few prior. It is my understanding that they more than likely would have, if not fed properly, have transformed already.
I don't need to worry about the past. I'm glad that there's none in between the ones that we know about and this one right here. That's what I was worried about.
And I appreciate your concern for us, but once Nadalia is resurrected, we will not fear the Catholic Church. They will not be able to harm us.
It is good to make sure they are very powerful. And I want to make sure that, that we are all safe and we are all aware of general the risks of running afoul. Such
We'll do our best to throw him off the trail.
Yes, and with that protection, I do promise not to make any more to send out in the world. I will not promise to make more. I make several.
Nope,
It is an enjoyable process, but I keep them.
Yes.
And they protect me and my pack.
Pets are marvelous things, and you must be protected. I wish you the best. If of course I will I will be happy to sign any other copies of any of my books or translated books, just as a gesture of friendship. Just because I'm here, and a few flicks of my wrist cost me nothing. But if they double your profits, my dear friend, I will be happy to do so.
Oh, of course, and I'm sure Zahn would love to see you again, even while not impersonating him. Maybe impersonating, he might get a kick out of that.
Yes, well, shall we take these books and head back to the Vatican and resolve this mystery and turn in our report?
I do believe I have...
Sounds like a plan.
The mystery has been solved for me.
You will always have a friend here, and a powerful one once Nadalia is back with us.
Glad.
I wish you safe journey, Mark Twain, Harry Houdini, and Nikolai Tesla.
Farewell.
All right, so do we want to go back to Candlekeep or out to the Vatican and do that, or?
I mean, it'd be cool to kind of like resolve turning the quests.
We have a prisoner also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, I haven't been practicing those accents.
You don't have to, we gagged him, so you don't have to do that accent.
His is easy.
Oh, yeah, because he just...
His is just,
Yeah, well, that guy, see?
Yeah, that's basically it.
That was like my plan, is that if you wouldn't take it, I was like, we have a prisoner that you could maybe trade for money with, That was my if we couldn't agree with anything, is maybe...
I actually...
Start human trafficking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please don't sell these books, but sell this human.
I don't think Tesla would have been down with that.
Sell them to the bounty hunter, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Literally, the bounty hunter is trying to capture him for money. If you give him the bounty hunter may split the bounty. Is what I was thinking.
That's true.
That's what we're gonna do.
Oh,
we're giving them to the bounty hunter. So human trafficking, yes. Prisoner trafficking, maybe, or criminal trafficking. I don't know. They're all humans, and we're trafficking in them.
I mean, the difference between a criminal and someone you've captured is just your
Well, listen, if
only one person gets to choose that.
If he didn't want to get trafficked, he shouldn't have had a bounty on his head.
Yeah,
point. Right.
If we're going to be victim blaming here,
he shouldn't have tried to kill us. Also, I don't think he's the victim in this situation. So
true enough.
Those dogs were.
Oh, poor pup.
That one backflipping dog, man. All right, do you guys want to resolve these things, or?
I think, yeah, that's good. That's
Okay, cool. So you have no troubles getting back to the Vatican. You travel north through the desert up to Alexandria. You take a ferry to the mouth of the River Tiber, and from there it is a very short travel to Rome and then to the Vatican City.
Yeah, maybe we stop by Valor on the way with our prisoner in tow.
Okay. So you see, when you come into Vatican City, you see Valor. She is, like, cleaning the side of a building, because they are still making her pay off her debt that the book caused when it turned into a Gingwatsum and destroyed that part of the Vatican Library.
Must have been very hungry.
They are mostly blaming her for it.
Hello, Fräulein. We meet again.
Ah, Mr. Tesla. You are back.
Yes, and it seems we have brought, how do you say, some company with us.
Trying to remember how to do a German accent. Are you captured? You guys got me jumping around all the book and the accents.
That's what you get, DM.
Are you captured Mushaika? How did you find him?
Yes, it seems that he found us and tried to liberate us from our material possessions, but we apprehended him and decided it was best to turn him over to you. Perhaps it will help expedite your internment here.
also we have found that you are not at fault, obviously, for what has happened to your book. We have found a replacement, so hopefully, once we return it to the Vatican, they will consider your debt paid.
I appreciate your help. Thank you very much. I will split the bounty with you for Mushaika. He's a very dangerous and very wanted man.
Yeah, so it's not easy to apprehend him, so we would accept some recompense for the trouble.
I will say that let us figure out first, make sure that they are not holding you financially accountable for the cost of the repairs. So let's clear that away and play that first, and then we'll split the remaining balance 50-50. I think that's more fair, since you are no more fault for that damage as we are.
Agreed.
Because we both provided a book, and that caused damage. So I
yes,
think
it was not your fault that those books decided to turn into life-stealing monsters. How could you have known?
Donka, Mr. Tesla and Mr. Twain. I am a businesswoman first and foremost, and if you give me him, I will give you half of the bounty out of my own pocket, and I will negotiate with these Italians for the rest. She gives you 500 gold pieces.
Dang. See, so probably good that I was thinking to make that trade for the criminal. They would have made a bunch of shit of money. That's what I was thinking. Dwayne is kind of, his eyes go a little big because he knows how much debt he's in, and he's like, "Oh, very nice indeed."
Yeah, so we will not hold you up any longer, but we just wished to drop off this parcel to you. Fairly well, Vala.
Auf Wiedersehen, gentlemen.
All right, now we go turn in these books to the book quest guy.
Yep. So we go to the guy with the question mark hovering over his head, and close out that quest.
Sprig, I think is his name.
Sprig was our attendant. Was he the
His name was Sprig. Yeah. He's the only person I'm gonna do a voice for. So he is your
page, right?
He's your page and like minder, basically. Because they don't want everybody just wandering around, poking around Vatican unattended.
It's a dangerous place. It's got King Watsum's floating around.
So you summon him and he comes up. Oh, Mr. Tesla, Mr. Twain, and Mr. Houdini, you will come back from your journeys. Have you brought with you the books?
We have. And we've put a stop to the monstrosities that were being created.
Oh, Lord be praised. That is wonderful. What was happening?
A strange scientific anomaly, too far beyond the minds of mortal men to understand. was creating strange anomalies, but thankfully it was swiftly and resolved with no loose ends, completely tied up into a nice, neat little bow.
Oh, how convenient. That is very nice. So he takes the books from you. I will put these back where they belong. These are not going to turn into balls of a goo, are they?
No, these are 100% guaranteed no balls of goo. These books are goo-free.
Goo-free books. Perfect. And he gives you... So for your trouble and for helping out, we know that you did not bring these books into the Vatican, so you owed us nothing. And in fact, we're attacked by them. So we appreciate you. He hands you a coin. Have you ever seen like those military coins that are? I mean, you guys probably have. You're in the damn military.
Yeah, half of us have been in the military.
So it's similar to that. Like it's got heft to it. It's like finely detailed and even like colorful. But it is like Vatican iconography instead of like military iconography. He says like, this will show you as a friend to the Vatican. If you're anywhere in the world and you go to a Catholic church, you show them this, they will give you sanctuary, they will give you respite, they will help you on your journey. This shows that you have really earned our friendship. But of course, I also promised you money, and he gives you another, I don't know what that sack of gold I was going to say. So he gives you a small chest. And you open it quickly and surmise just by glancing that it's about another 500 gold piece.
Yes, a most generous boon and an ample reward. We are most appreciative.
And you, of course, still have full range of the library if you ever want to finish your studies. Hopefully these other books will not attack you.
Yes, thank you for your hospitality.
And that is the end.
And that's all for our playthrough of Mazfroth's Mighty Digressions circa 1894. This was a ton of fun to play. We had a great time jumping into a different setting for D&D, and reskinning in this setting was just an absolute blast from a role-playing standpoint. Stay tuned for next week when we have our post-session review, talk about the game, talk about the campaign, some of the things that we liked, some things that we didn't like, before we gear up for the next adventure in Candlekeep Mysteries. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.